Joe and Anthony Russo have directed, up until this year, 4 films. That's it. All 4 of these films have been set in the exact same universe, involving the same characters. They've basically been at acting at the best of Marvel and Disney in making these big cinematic Marvel films. They did Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, and then Avengers: Infinity War and Avengers: Endgame. That's it. That is their entire directing catalog up until 2022. And they were very, very successful. They helped, usher in the finale of the Infinity Saga, this incredible, massive, like money-making undertaking from Disney, and really a cinematic achievement. There are films along the way that suck. There are some that are fantastic, and some that are a little bit in between. But overall, the quality of those films is really strong. So where do you go once you've made the most financially successful movie of all time in Avengers Endgame? And the answer is you direct the Gray Man. You get one of the actors you've worked with the most, Chris Evans. You get Ryan Gosling, an extremely popular actor right now, Anna de Armas, and you make this movie. You make a big budget, massive action movie for Netflix. And let's talk about what I think of it. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on the red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. You can also follow me on Instagram at RealHometownZero and also on Rumble. I really, really like this movie. It has some noticeable problems. I'll talk about the things that kind of drag it down a bit first and then give an overall impression of the film. The palette that they use in terms of like how the film looks is not really that good. The movie looks very dull and flat, and that's really the only way I can describe it. They've had this problem in their films before, not all of them. Most namely, if you watch Captain America: Civil War again, the beginning of that movie takes place, there's like the introductory sequence, the credits, and then there's a sequence that takes place in Lagos, which is in Nigeria. And it's just hideous looking. Everything looks flat and bland. And this entire movie just looks like that. Nothing jumps out on the screen, nothing pops, and it just looks like whoever was in charge of cinematography was not interested in making a movie that actually looks good. And it's really frustrating because most of the rest of the movie, like all the actual action sequences, are well thought out, well planned, super involved and technical and exciting. And they work really well. They just look like crap, which is really unfortunate. The movie also is really, really predictable and a little bit on the formulaic side. There's tons of plot armor. Characters die when the movie wants them to die. Nothing here is unexpected whatsoever. Characters make the sacrifice play when necessary. They do big heroic things when necessary, and people betray each other when necessary. It also goes on to set up what is going to be a franchise. This is not a surprise. This has already been announced and discussed. They'd want to do like this greater Gray Man verse, I guess. I don't know, whatever that's going to look like. Those are really my critiques of the film. Overall, it's really, really a ton of fun. And Evans and Gosling in particular look like the Russos just brought them in and were like, we want you to have the most fun you've ever had making a movie. And just do whatever, and read the lines on the script, maybe improvise a little bit, but have a ton of fun while you're doing it. So they both get to chew up a ton of scenery, and they have a lot of fun. Criticism I have, again, is that they still fall into, and this is something that the Russo brothers just have to figure out if this is who they're going to be for their entire careers, where it's like action sequences, punch, 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 kick, shoot, set something on fire, explosion, and then punchline. And it's so predictable at this point that you see every single instance of this coming, and it gets a little bit old. That said, despite my criticisms of the movie, I really loved every second of it. I was super engaged. I laughed the entire time, and it's probably the most fun I've had watching a movie this year. And it kind of surprised me because the critics really savaged it, and I just have a hard time dunking on the movie because I loved every second of it despite my criticisms. And it's really kind of a crowd pleaser. I'm disappointed that I didn't see it in the theaters. It was in the theaters for a week, before it got released on Netflix. And I'm bummed I didn't go see it because I heard a lot of negative things. And critics are trash and you shouldn't listen to them, including me. Watch movies for yourself and then love them, hate them, do whatever you want. But I really love this one, despite my criticisms of it. And it's hard to put a exact pinpoint on why. The movie does really good use of music. All the fight sequences are awesome and well choreographed. There's a particular sequence in Turkey that is completely insane and off the wall. I think it's in Turkey. And it's just completely wild. Everything goes completely off the rails. It's nuts. None of the action, the big action sequence at the end, which you've probably seen in the trailers, is completely out of control and defies every single law of physics and natural law. And I'm completely here for it. So I love The Gray Man, and you should check it out. It's on Netflix. Thanks for watching the review. If you liked it, found it helpful, consider subscribing. You'd also like and share the video. That tells the powers that be it's worth promoting. Sorry if I'm a little off today. I had my appendix removed a couple days ago, so I'm still dealing with repercussions from that and recovery. Thanks so much. I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.